I think that, like I said, in terms of conference stability, Big Ten, SEC, a big gap, and then the ACC with the asterisk that all those teams, if they could leave, would be gone. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things EA college football and college football, subscribe to this channel right now. I also do some pro football and some Madden videos as well. Hit that red subscribe button. Okay, quest for 1K. We're getting close to 600. We're on our way to 1,000. Okay, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. It's free to you. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so yesterday I made a video pleading our dear friend, Mr. Kevin Warren, just go ahead and end it all. Right now, we are just in this weird limbo. Oregon is trying to apply to the Big Ten. They're not even necessarily formally invited. There's a special, meeting orchestrated by the regents of Arizona State. You can tell that there's starting to be some chatter here about the fact that the Pac-12 at 10 teams is in a really precarious situation right now. They just don't have the stability of other leagues. Now, I think that in terms of stability, obviously, Big Ten's number one. Everybody wants to get into the Big Ten. SEC's number two. And then there's a big drop off from there. Ironically, of all of the A5 schools, or all the A5 conferences, I would say that the ACC is 3 with a huge asterisk around the 3. The ACC is stable, more so because the grant of rights right now seems to be untouchable. It seems to be a situation where, I know a lot of people said all it takes is 8 votes or this or that. Well, if you can count them up and you can see people doing that, I more power to you. But I don't know how they're going to overcome that. Texas is having a hard enough time with theirs, and theirs is much shorter. So I think that, like I said, in terms of conference stability, Big Ten, SEC, a big gap. And then the ACC with the asterisk that all those teams, if they could leave, would be gone, okay? Then right below them, I would say the Big 12. The Big 12 stability comes from the fact that the SEC and ACC, or the SEC and the Big 10, aren't trying to pillage them. So it's in a weird way that their strength comes from a technical weakness across the landscape of college football right now. And then way down there at the bottom is in fact, probably below the Mountain West, and below a couple, there might be several G5 conferences that are more stable right now than the Pac-12. It just looks like it's going to get pillaged. It looks like it's going to go all different directions. That being said, this is a far cry of the situation that we were talking about with our dear friend George Kliavkoff just a few weeks ago when he had some comments for new Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark. Now, we all remember this right here. Saturday down south, George Kliavkoff takes the gloves off, says Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark is trying to destabilize the Pac-12. I love the fact, remember, this is 26 days ago. I love the fact that the internet holds all the grudges and it never lets you forget. So, do they not want George Kliavkoff to forget? The fact that he keeps on yelling at Brett Yormark, even though it's Kevin Warren that's destabilizing his league. And basically said he turned salty here. They're trying to destabilize us. He says that basically confirmed the Big 12 outreach to various schools. Brett McMurphy, it is on. Pac-12 Commissioner George Kliavkoff to the Big 12's Brett Yormark. I appreciate that. We haven't decided if we're going shopping there or not. Well, unfortunately, at this point of the Pac-12, knowing that 4 of the members are outright looking to leave for the Big Ten. We know that Cal and Stanford are rumored. I think that Stanford is more a strong suit trying to bring, an addition to bring in not only that Bay Area market, but also try to be like, hey, Notre Dame, want to join us too? And then it's Washington and Oregon to be joining as well for that Northwest corridor. So they have a West pod of 6 schools in the the Big Ten will have their Pac-6 schools in their conference. So, Brett Yormark, again, remember, he says we were discussing expansion, we're doing this and that, where we are open to all ideas. George Kliavkoff says, hey, what are you talking about? You're trying to destabilize us. No. You guys are being destabilized by the fact that Oregon and Washington are trying to get... Okay, Stanford and Cal have plenty of money. They don't really need to do that. But again, if you can add money to that bottom line, they're not going to say no to that situation. So Brett Yormark is in a weird situation here where he has a position of strength. The rumor was that the Four Corners schools, Colorado, Utah, Arizona State are rumored to be joining. And again, there were several reports about that. There was like MHV or something, like some West Virginia source was basically stating, "Oh yeah, it's already a done deal. It's a done deal. It's a done deal." And that was unfounded, but I don't think it was illogical, basically because you're seeing the situation now. There's 10 teams remaining in the Pac-10, Pac-12. And if you look at the map and you look at things like that, there's a lot that makes sense from the four corners to join the Big 12. So here I have the FBS map, and you can see here that the purple is going to be the Pac-12, the red is going to be the Big 12, and then you'll see the green is going to be the Big 10. So we see these two schools here, USC and UCLA, are going to be playing. As an example here, Nebraska is right there. That is a Big 10 team, so that's what they're going to be their closest conference opponent. But then also at the same time, they're talking about Stanford and Cal, and then also talking about Oregon and Washington to be joining there too. So we'll have 6 schools out here to encompass the rest of these, 14 schools over here in the Big 10 regions. And then you see these red schools right here. So the red schools also added in here. So you see we have Cincinnati right here that they're going to add in. There's also going to be Central Florida down here. There's also going to be, Houston all the way down here, and then BYU all the way out here, this little green dot. So that's going to be joining them. Now, with that, the four corner schools are these purple dots, 1, 2, 3, 4. Arizona State, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah to be joining these red. It makes a lot of sense, will help out a lot with travel. Again, a lot of people say, oh, travel doesn't matter, travel doesn't matter. Travel matters, especially when you're talking about, the fact, the reason why Cal and Stanford are talking about joining the Big 10 with USC, UCLA, and Washington and Oregon is to make sure that there's some travel partners out here. Remember, when we come all the way over here and we check out these green dots, we see the fact that Penn State was all the way out here by themselves for the longest time. They added Maryland, they added Rutgers, travel partners, and the fact they get those TV markets. It helps out in multiple different ways. So that is the rumor. Like I said, the four corner schools are rumored to be going to the Big 12. That would be a match. Again, apparently the other rumor out there is the fact that the Big 10 is waiting on the Big 12 to pillage those 4 schools. Once they get those 4 schools, it'll be even easier. And again, I don't really know. I know that a lot of people were saying, oh, well, the Big 10 doesn't want to add too many members at one time because it might be in a situation where they can, have antitrust laws or something like that. I'm going to let you know that's a bunch of BS. Okay, the American added 6 Conference USA schools at one time. 6. Like almost just decimated the league by themselves. They did that because they could. If you don't think that the Big 10 can do that to Pac-12, you are absolutely sniffing paint at this point. So from where we sit, the Big 10 is at 16 teams with those 2 out west and then the 14 in the Midwest. They're going to be adding potentially 4 more, at least 2. Washington and Oregon are really, really strongly rumored. Oregon is outright reaching out. And then Stanford and Cal are also rumored to be 2. I know a lot of people say, oh, Gavin Newsom's going to block it. UCLA and USC are going to step in and do something. They're not going to do anything. They're posturing. They're just trying to show how strong they are. And ultimately, it's a great decision for UCLA, who was apparently $100 million in the hole. They had an agreement or a settlement with Under Armour that's going to address some of that, but still at the same time, I think that USC, UCLA, and Cal and Stanford all are going to go, and especially UCLA and Cal, because it makes just too much sense from a money perspective. Then you talk about the 4 corners going to the Big 12, because like I said, you already got Utah out there. You got BYU, connect with them. Colorado used to be a member. Arizona State aren't too far. There also was a rumor that San Diego State was rumored to the Big 12. And again, this is Brett Yormark. I'm telling you right now, Brett Yormark, he is really, really getting after it right now in terms of his activity. And I like that. And again, if that's true or not, we don't know. I know that actually conferences reaching out to schools directly can be an issue sometimes. There are some rules about that. But I do know that if the Big 12 really, really wants to take aim at the Pac-12 and get some of those schools, maybe they go after a San Diego State in the effort of taking away all of the lifelines for the Pac-12 to use. And then in essence, it's just going to further force the hand of Washington and Oregon and Stanford and Cal to be like, get us out of here. I actually like the aggressive strategy. Bring in San Diego State. San Diego's not too far from Phoenix, not too far from Tucson. Okay, reasonably close to, Salt Lake and Provo. So good move out there. I actually love the move. I would love if they brought in another Mountain West team. That's what I really love. But that's what they're doing right now. And I think that at this point, if I was a betting man, unless they really wanted to saturate the Northwest market, I don't see Oregon State and Washington State joining the Big 12 at this point. It looks like they would be absorbed into the Mountain West. The Mountain West would welcome them with open arms. But I think that's where we're at right now. I think that, San Diego State, rumored out there. I think that Brett Yormark is getting aggressive. I like what he's doing. He's doing certainly what he can to hurt or take away lifelines for the Pac-12. And the Pac-12, the only lifeline they're looking for at this point is the Big Ten to come calling. That brings up a lot of interesting questions. And again, I want you guys to get in the comments right now and address some of these questions. What do you think the end game is for the Big Ten? Do you think that 20 is the limit? Do you think 24 is the limit? I actually think I'm going to make a video about the ACC later on, because I was on a live stream with a Golden Blue Dude. It was awesome on StreamYard. Go check it out. He does great work out there. But what I'm thinking is what's the end game? Because if Kevin Warren thinks that the conference limit is 24 teams, do you think that the SEC is going to be like, nope, we're fine at 16? Do you think that the Big 12, who could do 16, may say, nope, we're going to stay at 16? Or what happens at the ACC if they get pillaged? They get a couple of members off of them. There's a lot of questions out there that haven't been answered yet, but I'm going to try to address those in a later video. But for right now, this video, Brett Yormark, it looks like going after San Diego State, looks like going after the Four Corner schools. He's coming at it from a position of strength, being aggressive right now. I think that the Big 12, in addition to the Big 10, are killing the Pac-12. All right, guys, get in the comments right now. Let me know what you guys think about this situation, okay? Any questions like that, I really appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, okay? Really appreciate that. Also, go check out Golden Blue Dude. He does a great job out there. But anyways, everybody here, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys later. I am out.